Chapter 3. What do you think about this one? Harper bounced around the apartment several days later in the village of Manchester. Imogen walked through with a critical eye, a finger on her lips. The location was wonderful, just set back from Main Street. It was in the center of town, but not close enough to the shops to hear people going in and out all day. Imogen squinted. There isn't enough sun. Harper rolled her eyes. People said she was the dramatic one, but Imogen was another level. Imogen, it's 4 p.m. in the middle of January, in Vermont. Sun isn't widely available right now. Imogen shrugged. It was a cute little place, but it didn't feel right. She just couldn't put her finger on it. The kitchen was small and cozy. She didn't need much. The location was pretty great, close to shops and restaurants, and only 25 minutes from Danby. Still, it didn't feel like a yes. It's nice, but I'd like to keep looking. I'll know it when I see it. Imogen had always trusted her instincts, and they hadn't let her down yet. We've been looking at apartments all day, girl. I'm not trying to pressure you, but these all match what you had asked for. Quiet, lots of windows, and close to your aunt's place. It's not like there are a lot of rental apartments available here. We aren't in a big city. No, I get it. I'm not trying to be difficult. I guess I just imagined something different. Truthfully, there were more rentals available than she'd anticipated. Imogen guessed more people were prone to visiting the ski mountains over the winter season when the locals visited warmer climates. Harper cocked her head, her big crystal earrings making a tinkling sound. Today, she'd dressed up to play realtor in a turban and big boho dress with cardigan. She looked like she was invoking the aura of Stevie Nicks. It was all Harp, and Imogen couldn't help but admire her friend's sense of individuality. I think Manchester may be too far. I want to be closer to my aunt, and to Fortune. And my brother? Harper asked pointedly. Imogen rolled her eyes. I see him once a week. I can make the 25-minute drive. No, I'd have to drive an hour round trip every day to work the farm and see Fortune. And that's not even counting how long it would take me to get to Green Mountain Glamping when it starts up for the season. Harper acknowledged the point. Listen, I get it. You're in the country now, though. You're going to have to drive to get most anywhere. She sighed. I just don't understand why you can't move in with my brother. It would solve the issue. Imogen shook her head. They'd been over this ad nauseum. First, it's too soon. We just started dating. Second, I'm not moving up here for him, and I think it's good we both have our own space. Third, that is a huge step and not something I'm willing to consider unless I'm going to marry the person. I never pegged you for a traditionalist, Harper mused. She could understand that her friend and Gabe had only recently gotten together, but if there was a couple more perfect for each other, she hadn't met them. I get it, it's too soon, blah blah blah. Imogen snorted. Seriously though, pickings are slim. You'll have to pick a place eventually. Harper paused, considering. You are still moving up here, right? Imogen raised an eyebrow. Of course, this isn't me getting cold feet about my decision. I just haven't found the right place, that's all. She really hoped she found an apartment soon. She barely had any of her things with her. Her aunt's cabin was meant for a single person, and she was lucky it even had a guest room. It was becoming crowded, and despite being the extroverted sort, she was looking forward to having a place to herself again. Imogen was used to being more independent. If you say so. Harper wasn't sure she believed her friend. Imogen was spontaneous, and there was every chance she wasn't rushing to move out of her aunt's tiny cabin because she wanted to be able to return home if she suddenly decided it was necessary. These rentals were all annual, with a month-to-month addendum that could be added. I do say so. How come no one believes me? Imogen whined. It was hard not to be incredibly frustrated. Ever since she had decided not to return to New Jersey, it was like her aunt and all her friends were just waiting for her to change her mind again. She may be impulsive, but she was stubborn too. More than that, her gut told her this was where she and Fortune needed to be. Harper sighed. She wasn't often serious, but it needed to be said. I love you. You are one of my favorite people, and that's saying a lot because I love everyone. Imogen laughed at her friend's joke. don't want you to break my brother's heart. If you leave, I don't know if he'd bounce back from it. He doesn't open up easily to people. It's been amazing to watch him lower his guard and let you in. You're closer to him than most. He wouldn't like to admit it, but he is incredibly sensitive." "I know," Imogen agreed softly. Gabe's quiet steadiness and caring personality were what drew her to him in the first place. He wanted to help everyone, but at the same time didn't allow the same grace for himself. He needed her to stand for him and make sure he got the same loyalty in return. She had no intention of letting him or anyone else down. "I don't know what to tell you. I'm moving here. It's happening. I just need to find a place so I can go back to my old apartment, pack it up, and sublet it or terminate the lease. I'm tired of everyone doubting me. Honestly, it's getting to be insulting." "I'm not trying to insult you, Im." Harper reached out and hugged her friend, who returned it half-heartedly. Imogen's feelings were hurt. Did everyone think she was some kind of flighty ditz or something? "Well, it hurts my feelings," Imogen admitted honestly. "I came to help my aunt, and the plan was always for me to leave by winter when she was healed. I barely made it out of the state before I turned around and came back. Yet, it seems like everyone is just expecting me to get back in my car and leave again. I'm sorry, I really am. You've always said that you get bored easily and tend to bounce around. I'm only going off what you told us to expect." Imogen corrected her friend. "Between jobs. I have bounced around between jobs." Harper nodded, acknowledging the difference. "The truth is that it's absolutely wonderful living in the mountains. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but the winters here can be tough. It's not all skiing and sledding. The nights are long, the wind is biting, and the cold gets in your bones. The power goes out constantly. Most people who decide to live here only make it 1 year before opting out and going somewhere warmer. Anyone can do it for a week while on vacation, but month after month and year after year, it takes grit." Imogen scowled. "Wow, you're really selling it." Harper just shrugged, completely unperturbed. "Well, I have grit. I may not have the thick skin yet." She pointed to the 4 different layers she wore. "But I'm not afraid of things that are a little difficult. In fact, I like a challenge. So, you can all wait for me to leave, but you're going to be disappointed." Harper looked at her friend for a few seconds, then smiled. She did indeed look silly in all her clothing. Bundled up as she was, she looked about 30 pounds heavier than her small frame could carry. It was adorable. "I'm looking forward to being disappointed. Now," she turned her attention to her phone. "There are 2 more apartments to see, then we need a drink." With a huff, Imogen followed Harper out of the door and back into the cold. If there was a drink at the end of this, she could handle a few more stops. But she couldn't shake the feeling that she might have to make some concessions when it came time. She needed to decide, and soon.